Work on formatting text. And as you see on my paper, I have already put the title at the top that says formatting text. And I'm going to go over how to do some copying and pasting, and we're going to change the way the words look. We're also going to learn how to add new fonts. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to type in my name. And instead of having to type it in 10 different times, I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to do that. First of all, I'm going to click, hold, and drag and select my name. I'm going to go to the edit button and click copy, or I could use Control C. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to do paste. I can also use Control V, which is what I'm going to use for the rest of the different clicks on here. As you see, I am pasting my name, and I have, it looks like 8, 9, 10. Now I am going to go back and change the way my font looks. In order to do that, to make any changes to my writing, I have to select it. And in order to select, I have to click, hold, and drag. And I can start that at the beginning or the end. So I've clicked my mouse button, held and drag over. I can also do it at the end and go backwards. You cannot do it from the middle because that's just going to get part of it, as you can see. So I'm going to start at the top, click, hold, and drag. And the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the style of my writing. So right up here at the top, you'll see I call it the fancy words. You're going to always click the arrow after the picture of what we're changing. So I'm going to click the arrow here, and you'll see all of the different fonts that I have chosen. I can also go down here to more fonts. So if I'm not seeing what I want, I can click on more fonts, and this pops up. My font box pops up. I have the ability to sort by popularity, so what is the most important down. I can choose alphabetical order. So if I knew the name of what I was looking for, that might be easier, especially if it's at the beginning or the end. I can go when it was added, so when Google Docs added it to their list, I can go with what is trending. So that is what is the most popular right now. So I am going to go back to popularity, and as you see, if it's something that has already been chosen, is already added to my fonts, it is blue and highlighted. I can also go through and I can add more at one time than just clicking yes and no. So I'm going to go down, let's find something that I haven't used. I'm going to click on quicksand. So now do you see how when I clicked on quicksand, it changed it to blue? I can keep going. Let's see, I'll do dancing script. So that's the second one, and I'm going to click OK. It has now taken me back to this screen, and I am now going to again go back up to where I have my fancy words. Arial is where it automatically starts out at. I'm going to click the arrow after the words, and I'm going to choose a font. As you see, that's what mine looks like. I can also now go and change the size, and that automatically defaults to a size 11. I can click the arrow after it, and I can choose however big I want it to be. So we have it there. I'm going to now go to my next name, and as you see, this one up here will not change anymore because it is not selected. I have bold, italicize, and underline, and you can do more of those to one at a time. So if I bold something, it makes it, I call big and strong. If I italicize it, oops, as you see, I'm going to use the undo arrow we've talked about before and bring that down. It's still highlighted, so I'm going to click the I, and as you see, it leans a little bit, and I can click U for underline. I can take them off and on by turning, basically when you push the button, it's like an on-off switch. Going to go down to the next one, and we're going to change the color. Now this is important to know. When we click the arrow after the A with the underline, and as you see, it always pops up and tells us what color, what we're doing, or what that item is. We're going to click on text, and that is the actual writing. So if I choose a color like green, it's going to be there. It's kind of, as you can see, it's right there. Now, the next one, there was right next to it, I click this arrow, it says highlight, and it works just like a highlighter. So if I click a color, it drags over it just like a highlighter would, and that is what that's going to look like. So there's the difference between text and highlighting. The next thing we're going to go is where we place our words. So we're going to go down to this one. And as you see, it automatically starts, everything automatically defaults or automatically goes to right over here on the left side. It's called the left justify. So if I click that, you'll see that nothing has changed. The one next to it is center. So if I click that, it puts my name in the center of the page, and everything moves from the center out. I'm going to go down to this one and show you the right justify. And as you see, it says right align, and it's going to put everything so that it starts typing from the right side of the page towards the left. That's really good if you're doing a date. The last one on here is one that we're not really going to use. It comes in handy more if you're writing a research paper or something like that, and it makes sure that both sides of your page are equal aligned. You're not going to see that with something as short as a name, as I have right there. Over here, right in the middle, you're going to see more lines, and it says line spacing with an up and down arrow. That line spacing is what is in between each button each time we hit enter. So I'm going to change it to single. You'll see it brung it up just a little bit. If I go down, 1.15 is where it automatically goes. We can go to 1.5. That's a little bit bigger space. Or we can go to double space. So now you guys can see where the difference is between those. So that one you can kind of play with. We have a numbered list. If you're typing something you want to number them, I'm going to select right here. You can choose how you want it to look. This is more if we're doing an outline. And as you see, there's different looks that we can use. We also have bullets, just like that. If you're making a list, you can change the way it looks. And if you're wanting to go these backwards and forward indents, those are going to be things that we don't use very often. So remember, when you're changing the look of something, you can change more than one thing on your name. Here we go. I'm going to try bold. Sometimes it works. Sometimes things are already bolded, so it's not going to bold it more. Let's change this one. We did the highlight. I hadn't changed it from highlight, so let's change our letters on the inside to this one. And just because I want to show you, I'm going to go here to center, and as you see, it centered it. And we don't need to worry about our spacing. So that is how you are going to work on formatting your text.